So guest posting as a form of monetization probably seems pretty straightforward, and it kind of is, but I'm going to go over some of the pros and cons that I think will help you determine whether or not this is something you'd be interested in. So essentially, guest posting means you are getting paid to create content for someone else's website. So I, as a DIY and food blogger, often contribute to other websites in my niche. I started doing this before I started my current website, and it has become a great way for me to establish my credibility, meet some new people, get new opportunities, and what I find most important is that it has established backlinks for my website, which is very good for my SEO and establishing my website's credibility. So this can also be a great way to begin monetizing when you're first starting out. Now, as far as some of the pros and cons of guest posting, as I said, it is great for your SEO. So every time you guest post and you have yourself out there as an author, that can be one extra link to your website that helps build its credibility with Google. So that's important, and you can begin meeting people in your niche through those opportunities, which leads to more and more opportunities in the future. You can also use these opportunities to establish yourself as a subject matter expert. So regardless of what you blog about, you would probably consider yourself some form of expert in what it is you blog about. So find a website that talks about that as well, or maybe even that doesn't talk about it, that doesn't know anything about it, and that's a great opportunity for you to slide in and establish yourself as a subject matter expert in your field. On the con side, unfortunately, guest posting opportunities do not always bring a lot of traffic back to your website. Even though they establish those links that are good for SEO, people don't necessarily always click on them to get back to your website. You might still get a few here and there, and that's great, but it is also going to depend on the traffic that particular website gets. Often, guest posting opportunities can take up a lot of your time, so if you don't have time to create extra content on top of what you're doing for your own blog, they can be very difficult. And because you are reporting to someone else who has final editing approval to publish that post, that may not always sit well with certain bloggers, so that's really up to you whether or not it's something that you feel you want to pursue. Generally, I find that guest posts don't always pay as well as sponsored posts or some other opportunities, but as I said, it is more of a way to establish yourself when you're first starting out. When you do want to work with brands, often you can do guest posting opportunities for that brand's blog because they want content for their website rather than sponsoring content to put on your website. So this is another type of guest content that you may also get paid a little bit more for, and it's a good way to get in with that brand so that you create content for them, and in the future they can sponsor content for your website as well. When it comes to finding these guest content opportunities, I know that can seem a little bit daunting. Think of the websites that you frequent. Think of what you read, what you use as a resource, and in general, any kind of website that you've always dreamed of writing for. You can probably reach out to them and see if there are opportunities to guest post, and that can be just a great opportunity for you to do something different and earn a couple extra bucks.